Going on. Um, Sitting here watching this little documentary about mounds. There was mounds in Bay City, dude, as well. I mean, for my studies, man, is Saginaw also, and just like Saginaw Bay City, and you can follow these rivers. It's well known that the Indians used to use the rivers with canoes. That was basically their form of an expressway back in the day. Like, the Indians that had horses were out in the west, buddy. Like, down by Mexico, where the Spanish dropped the horses off when they came over. But it's like, I mean, there is massive. They said one of these mounds was 1.5 acres, okay? I mean, for instance, you got this thing called the Serpent Mound, and it's down in Ohio, man. I mean, that's the next state down, and it's like the Indians that lived here really like encompassed states, and they migrated a lot. And these, like when it was nice out, they went to where normally in the winter it'd be inhospitable. Some of them learned to live in the inhospitable regions as well. They learned how to adapt, but It's crazy how much of this was going on right under our freaking nose. And like literally right in the video they said they were finding strange shaped skulls and remarkably large humanoid skeletons, but they said as soon as they dug them up they just disintegrated. But I mean there's more than 3 mounds in the area, dude. I mean, look, 3 mounds is like, whoa, that's a, back in the day before they had bulldozers and stuff, that was a major work, you know what I'm saying? And that is vital to history and archaeology, man, and anthropology and all this stuff. This is like little tidbits of little glimpses into that era and that period, into that ancient pre-modernity sort of a situation, okay? But for some reason, man, I mean, there is a plethora of information, but look, it's just not well known to regular people, because most people are just too busy with the rat wheel and mainstream, lamestream media, like things that they don't really, or people might know about it, but what can you do about it, man? Like, well, who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters? You know what I'm saying? Because basically that's where I was kind of going with this anyway, is like, look, these mounds, man, are spiritual charge portals, man. It's like equivalent to building a house on a graveyard. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you should expect to see some weirdness there. Like, if you were to be the gravekeeper, you might want to live alone, so you don't end up whacking your wife, man, in a strange paranoid delusion from when you get possessed by the ghosts, and then the entities that are floating and hovering around in the spirit world, right outside of our awareness, right outside the peripheral. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this seems like to be a true phenomenon to me. And like people say, look, in the Bible, oh, they don't believe in ghosts. Look, dude, it said when Jesus was walking on the water in Galilee, they thought it was a ghost. So look, these people must have believed in ghosts, whether it was just familiar spirits masquerading as your dead family members or whatnot. Look, must have happened to somebody where they seen a ghost of some sort. You know what I'm saying? A disembodied spirit or something like that, where it was a common belief. And also like demons and spirits, man. He's got an unclean spirit. Look, this was common back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, people understood these things. They knew about the jinn. You know what I'm saying? And the manadoos and die books and all this stuff, man. So, you know, in Europe, they had these fairy mounds, man. It's like, what's funny, there was a group called the Sacs. I mean, that is so close to the Saxons. They used to be called the Sacs. You know what I'm saying? And these dudes came from, I seen this one dude postulate that they came from the Scythians, which were these nomadic dudes on horses who grew pot, man. And they made oil out of the pot. You know what I'm saying? The weed, marijuana, hemp. You know what I'm saying? That's also, it's great for textile purposes, where you can make clothing and rope and other and other like stuff out of it, dude. Like it's very versatile for that, and this anciently was known. But these groups of the Scythians were actually that's part of the northern kingdom of the lost sheep of the house of Israel. You know what I'm saying? It's like people just don't know these things. It's covered up. It's not. But anyway, if you just look at your freaking history a little bit, you'll see. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of overlap, man. A lot of different cultures, like the Karns, man. The dudes from the Vikings used to make. You know what I'm saying? And these peoples all came from the same kind of area and would have had overlapping custom from. It's just like over here. Some Indians might have started doing a custom that they didn't really, it wasn't part of their heritage, but they learned it through intermarriage with the surrounding tribes. Same thing happened in the Bible with the Israelites. You know what I mean? And many times they were getting in trouble for learning the neighbor's ways, the stranger's ways. You know what I'm saying? And then starting to do their customs. You know what I'm saying? Like idolatry. Like, look, dude, in a way, it's like Egyptology is a sophisticated form of idolatry, where they're worshiping the dead man's bones and the building made for the dead man's bones. I mean, you know what I'm saying? These are that's the most pagan of customs, that one of them's that you even get. You know what I'm saying? And it's all it's seen as a good and noble thing, but really the whole advanced, sophisticated spiritual religious slavery is all wrapped up in the burial ritual, which these mounds basically are big. I mean, these Indians had to put forth a lot of labor to make these structures, and we don't know what the true purpose was. Was it just some Egyptology type of which, even if it was an Egyptology type of thing, that would also prove the Israelites would have learned Egypt's customs, okay? And I mean, it's prophecy that God will scatter us amongst the Gentiles across the whole earth, right? And you can see pyramids all over the whole freaking earth. I mean, that's more prophecy fulfilled, but people just don't know how to interpret it correctly. You know what I'm saying? You don't see it for what it is. That it doesn't. It's like, does it mean the whole world was pagan, or did it just mean that the whole earth was corrupted and started to practice the pagan ways? You know what I'm saying? And now we're lost and hidden to history because you're so mixed in. Everything is so mixed in together. It's hard to tell the stuff apart. But look, that's part of the way you can also like figure it out. These overlapping patterns, dude, and these systems of belief and thought that are reoccurring from people that had no connection to each other, like, but maybe they had a common origin, where some of these customs and methodologies and modalities leak down to their descendants, and to where the point where they even lost the meaning. This happened in China, where they said all the ancient symbols and all their sacred geometry and all these crazy temples that were built, they already lost the true meaning to what any of the symbols meant. But back in the day, their scholars and scribes and whatnot understood. It was common knowledge what the symbols and the iconography meant, and it has a greater, grander meaning than what it appears. It's not just cool art. It's actually got some kind of Fibonacci sequence, encoded information. I mean, it's the same thing with these people who built cathedrals over in Europe, dude. They encoded in the iconography secret messages about the end of the world, and they'd also, it's kind of like also like in that movie The Ninth Gate, where Lucifer like signed his own work, and in a way the devil's in the details and all this stuff, and you can see it's just like it's a global phenomenon. It's not a localized thing. It's just, how does it all connect? I mean, and this is the thing. It says that they deconstructed these mounds, you know what I'm saying, and used them in recent constructions. Like a lot of it was the city and the states frickin' reallocated the lands to make waterways and roads and railways. Okay, manifest destiny. And it's also, in a way, they were covering something up. And this has been proven that, look, they were exploring South America to try to disprove that these guys were not as sophisticated and advanced as the European culture. And there was a real racist way of thinking that white was right. And you know what I'm saying? Basically, in that era. So they were studying these people's heritage, and they were downplaying the grand scale of it, that they were practicing archaeoastronomy, that they had many great castles made with stone, just like the Europeans did. You know what I'm saying? They actually built irrigation waterways, and they had their own kind of aqueduct system. Look, that even Europe didn't even possess this at the time, because the Dark Ages, after Rome fell, their aqueducts fell into disrepair. And these people over here, these loincloth wearing, brown skin mugs, look, had way more sophisticated. They were they were almost like Romans in a way, like at their level of advancement. They would dominate all the local farmers. They had sophisticated feudalism going on, even blood sacrifice, where they demand the children to be thrown off the top of the pyramid or shot with arrows and buried in the cornfield, stuff like that. There's a lot of weird, equivalent to the strange medieval psycho European methods, like the Iron Maiden in the rack, and then quartering someone with 4 horses, or burning people at the stake. You know what I'm saying? It's the same ills was here in our culture. It was in your culture, dude. You know what I'm saying? But look, there was a lot of things like pollution that wasn't here in our culture, like that y'all brought and migrated with you. You know what I'm saying? Over here to these lands. And, I mean, I don't know. It's just been buried, but it's not really buried that deep. Like, literally, you go to the right place, you go for a hike and just kick up some rocks. You go kick some rocks, bones might come popping out. It's that. Because, I mean, listen, Bay City is only not far from here. Saginaw isn't far from here. It's like 20 minutes away. And there is burial mounds, literally, that were documented in the 1850s and before. All in this area. So I'd imagine you probably go north of there, you'll probably find another outpost. I would guess follow the river. That's like the ancient expressway. Follow that river down, you're going to end up down here in these little waterways. Follow the waterways. And it's crazy, but there's hill. Are some of these hills, or are some, look, hidden amongst the hills are mounds that the Indians used to do for some purpose. I mean, I'm not sure yet, but I mean, is it don't know exactly what the time frame is, sure what the meaning exactly is, but it's weird though. Look, Tampa, one night I was in Tampa, I was getting all drunk, right, and we were wandering around through there, and I went under this building that was built on pillars, right, and then it was sunk down like 8-10 feet. Pillars building above at ground level going up, but the foundation was just pillars, right? In the middle was a plaque, and it said, "This is the center point of Tampa, and this was once a great Indian burial mound," and there was fucking bodies everywhere. Like, look, it's crazy. It's a plaque right out there in open, but they built right on that spot, just like they do in Europe on the fairy mounds. Because it dominates the spirit world as well as the physical world. They use the spirit world to help dominate the physical world. It's kind of like, look, if you're in a battle with the spirits, look, you're not gonna fight against, rebel against the king and the tyranny so easy when you're already afflicted. So they literally are using geomancy on us without us knowing about it. But look, if you were just a little bit more ancient, you would see that it's really necromancy that they're using. Like, look, and sophisticated sorcery, magicianry. Real Merlins are out here working for Uncle Sam, and they are using spooky action at a distance. Hoodoo, voodoo, and taboo on us, man. And it's so easy to find, man. Anybody, convince me wrong if you can. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, much love. God bless. Safe travels. Until next time. Peace.